Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha. Today I'm going to be sharing with you another nude product, and today I'm going to be sharing with you the I Heart Revolution, and it's the Nudes palette and it's the mini nudes. So yesterday I shared with you the larger nude palette, which I absolutely loved, and I know there was a lot of you that loved that palette. So I thought I'd follow it on today with the mini nudes palette. So this one looks like this. This is what the box looks like, or the packaging. And then on the back, again, it gives you a clear indication of what colours you're going to receive inside. And it looks like this. So there is a clear difference with the outer packaging with the larger and mini palette. So the larger palette is the deeper brown chocolate colour with the cream drips, and the mini is the white palette with the cream drips. It's absolutely fine. I would have preferred them to match because I love everything to match, but you know, it's absolutely fine. And then when you open it up, it has a mirror, and then you have all of these beautiful shades. So you have 8 shades in total. And although the larger palette, and I'll be sharing with you the inside of that palette in a moment, but that palette actually is slightly different, and we're reverting back to the original, how it's laid out. So the original layout where you have the 2 larger pans and then you have the 6 smaller pans. So, and I'll share that, like I said, with you. If you didn't see that, of course I will link that down below for you. Now in this palette you get 5 shimmers. This one is not as shimmery as the rest. Obviously I'm going to be sharing with you the swatches in a moment, but this is a shimmer, this one, not too shimmery, but it's, you know, still shimmery but not as intense as perhaps these. And then you have another one there, and then you have 1, 2, 3 mattes. So yeah, I'm really intrigued to see how this one looks because I loved this one so much. So what I'm going to do, as with the other 2 mini palettes that I've already shared with you, I'm going to put them side by side and just share with you the shades in the large and small and see if there's any dupes basically. But this is what the larger palette looks like. Absolutely stunning. I absolutely loved the look that I created yesterday, and yeah, I really love these nudes shades. So I knew that I was going to love these anyway. So let me just see if I can do it so that I'm not going to drop the palettes, and I can also point to it as well. Whoops. So I think that should be okay. So there we have both of the palettes, the larger and the mini. Now looking at the first shade, so this is a matte, and straight away I can see similar shades, but there's no spot on dupe. You've got some cooler browns here, and then you've got some warmer tones. So I suppose if you were to mix that one and perhaps that one together, you would get more of this matte shade. But again, not a spot on dupe. Then we have this beautiful champagne shade, and again, there's definitely not a spot on dupe for that one. Then we move on to the next shimmer shade, and so this is a shimmery brown, and again you've got some shimmers here. You've got perhaps this one. I hope you can see these okay. It's very difficult to hold both. So this has got a little bit of pink to it. This is more of your golden tone, but this is, I would say, your classic brown shimmer. Then we have a champagne shade there, and I suppose you could say that one or perhaps that one, but actually they're matte and that one is shimmery. So then we move on to the bottom row, and you've got a deeper champagne shade there, and again there's no spot on dupes because, like I just said, the 2 champagnes in the larger palette are matte. Then we have this beautiful colour, and this was the one that I used as a transitional shade yesterday. So those match or complement each other, I would say, but this one is a lot more of your peachy tone. Then we have this one here, which is a burgundy plum shade. You've definitely not got a dupe of that in this palette at all. And then the last one there is again a matte brown. So I suppose the nearest that you get to that one is that one, and it's quite similar, but again, it's not spot on, but I would say they are probably the closest that look, you know, very, very similar. But they do say that these palettes, these smaller palettes, complement the larger ones. So, you know, you're going to have similarities, but they're not definitely, you know, spot on dupes. They complement the larger palettes, and I'm really loving that. I love the idea that we've got these larger chocolate palettes, which we all love, let's face it, and now we've got these beautiful minis with different shades in there. I mean, like I said, that one is similar, but it's not a spot on dupe. So I really, really do appreciate the time and the trouble, the effort that they've gone to create these minis, but they've put different shades in there. So I'm really, really pleased with that. So what I'm going to do now is just share with you the swatches, and then we'll move on to the actual look. So let me just make sure I've got the, have we got it right here? Yeah. So this is the first row. So you've got that larger pan. The larger pan on the top row, and that's your classic champagne. You've then got a second shimmery shade, and that is that brown shade that I was talking about, and it is absolutely beautiful. You've then got another champagne, but this has got a pink tone to it, so it's a little bit deeper than that one. And then you have that, it's a more of a warmer brown tone, and that of course is matte. We then move on to, let's start actually on this side. So we then have again that larger pan, so that's a classic champagne, but you can see that all these are different. So you've got a very pale cream shade, more of a pink tone, and then you've got more of a peachy champagne. So they're all different shades, and even though this is a very small palette and you have got only 8 shades in here, there are still a lot of combinations of eye looks that you can make with this little palette. So then we have which one have we got? Yeah, we've got, so I'm confusing myself now. We've got that beautiful peach nude shade, and that's a matte. Absolutely love that. I'm definitely going to use that today. We've got that burgundy shimmer shade, but it's not as intense as these ones. Definitely not. It's much more of, I would say, a velvet, but it's a little bit more subtle in effect to certainly those 3 that I've already shared with you. And then we have that last matte brown shade, definitely a little bit cooler than that one, so that's warmer and that's cooler, and this is the shade that I would say has a little bit more you know, in common with the shades within the larger palette. Very, very similar tones, but that's absolutely fine with me. They're not spot on dupes. Like I said, these shades complement the larger pans or the larger palettes, and I'm loving it. Now, this little palette retails for £6. You can pick it up from revolutionbeauty.com. Both of these 2 nude palettes are not available, as far as I'm aware, on superdrug.com, their website. Of course, I will have a look, and if it is, I will link that down below. But as far as I'm aware, you can only pick it up from the revolutionbeauty.com website. Now what I'm going to do is share with you a look. I'm also going to share with you can see I've not got any lipstick on either. I'm going to share swatches of the multi-liner in the nudes, as well as testing that out as well. I thought we'd go for a totally nude look today. So I'm just going to get my Wilko flat brush. I used this one today to carve out my brows, and the product that I'm going to be putting on my eyes today is the Revolution Pro Eye Elements in Core. Now, yes, I really do like, and I can never remember the other one's name. No, it's gone. But anyway, I've got another one, and I love that because it's more of a pink tone. But, of course, I don't want to waste this product. So I'm going to be using Core today. So I'm just going to get a little bit on my brush. Now, this product is a little bit more creamier than the next shade up that I've also got. You don't need a lot of this. A little of this goes a long way. Now, what I usually do is just pat it onto the eye, or just place it where I want it to go, I should say. I've already carved out my brow, and so I just put that on like that and then pat it in with my finger just to blend it in, especially to the outer edges. What I don't want is for it to be too harsh. I know I'm probably going to go over with eyeshadow, but even so, we want that seamless eye look. So there's that one done. And then I'm just going to get a little bit more product and then pop that on the other eye. And again, I'm just going to now pop that down. Just blend that in. So we're all primed and ready to go now. So what I'm now going to do is just get my brush, and I'm going to, sometimes I will set the base with a skin shade, you know, a skin eyeshadow shade, or, you know, my skin like eyeshadow shade, but in this one we haven't got that. So what I'm going to do, and I just want to use this palette and make this one work. I could go into the Nudes. Whoops, let me just put the lid on core first of all. You know, I could go into the larger palette, but what I want to do is make this one work. So I want to put the lid on that because I definitely don't want that to dry out. So I'm going to go in with that beautiful peach tone there. Really loved the peach tone in the larger palette. Again, this is a little bit dusty, kicks up a little bit of powder, and it has a very faint chocolate smell, and certainly not as much as the larger palette. So let's just see how this one works. This is certainly a deeper colour, especially for a little nude palette. So let's see how it goes. Well, I must say that that blended out very well. I was a little bit worried there for a moment because it looked incredibly pigmented, but it's blended out very, very nicely. So now I can build it up a little bit. And I do tend to find that because I'm so used to Revolution's eyeshadows, you know, across the board, I know how they work, you know, I know that they're such good quality and that you can blend them out if you want to, and also you can build them up, which is what you want from a really good eyeshadow. And you know, these do that. So whether you want to sheer it out, blend it out, or of course build it up, these work for that. Absolutely love that colour. Again, I'm finding that especially the nude or the Nudes palettes, I mean, I suppose what other one have I tested? I've tested two more, the rose gold and the Choc orange. They're very spring inspired, and you can wear them obviously throughout the summer. So really well thought out little collection there. Really love that colour as well. I don't know why, but peach tones always remind me of spring. And that is just so beautiful. Love that. I'm going to run that under the eye. Beautiful colour. And again, I think whatever eye colour you've got, this is going to work as your base. You know, it's going to work with all eye shades. And as you know, I've got, they're more hazel, I suppose, because they've definitely got a green hint of colour to them rather than just, you know, brown. And I'm finding that this is working well with my eye colour, but I also think it's going to work well with blue, brown. Absolutely beautiful colour that, you know, whatever eye colour you've got basically is going to work, and I love it. gorgeous. Now I want to add a little bit more colour. Now in this palette, you are limited to your mattes because of course you've only got 1, 2, 3. So if you are more of a shimmer eyeshadow person, you are going to love this palette because you've got all of those shimmers and you've just got the 1, 2, 3 of the mattes. So yeah, I think it's absolutely inspired if you love shimmers. And I think again in spring and summer, I mean, I'm particularly loving any eyeshadow that's got a little bit of glitter in it because we're now starting to have a little bit of sun here in Norfolk, and I really like the idea of going out into the sunshine and your eyeshadow or your blush, or in this case my nail polish. I've got glitter nail polish on today. Have I? Yeah, that one's better, I think. I've got glitter nail polish on today, and yeah, I really love the fact that as soon as you step out into that sunlight, you've got a little bit of glitter going on. So I'm going to go in with the warm toned brown, I think, which is this one here. You can definitely see the difference there in the pan. So yeah, going in with the warm tone there. And I really like the fact that you've got 2 different browns there, even though, like I said, there's only 3 mattes. So again, like I said, I really do think that these have been so well thought out, and I just love it. So I'm just going to make sure I get the right brown for a start, and just start adding that beautiful colour into the crease. Want that a little bit higher. That's it, like that. So you can then see the peach, but you can also see that brown shade as well. I really love these combinations. I know that, you know, it's peach and it's brown, but I really, really love it. And not only that, I think sometimes, you know, when you look at a palette, especially one, say for example, an eyeshadow palette that's got 100 eyeshadows in, I look at it and I'm overwhelmed and thinking, what look shall I create? So I really like also the idea that, you know, that thought has been taken away from us, I suppose, and we've got these mini palettes, and there's still a lot of eye looks I can create with that little palette, but this one in particular, obviously I haven't tried the mint one yet, but this one in particular has only got the 3 mattes. So if I'm in a rush and I don't really want to think about it too much, then this palette I can just go in. I know that I've got that peachy transitional shade, and then I've either got a matte cool brown, sorry, or a, you know, more warmer tone brown. So the thought has been taken out of it. So I suppose if you are perhaps new to eyeshadow, and I know a lot of you out there are telling me that you have, you know, had a break from makeup, this palette in particular would work really well for you. If you like your nudes, but you don't want to be too overwhelmed with, you know, an eyeshadow palette that has got these, you know, like 100 shades in there, and it can be overwhelming, you know, this particular one is going to work for you. So you can have that transitional shade, the brown tone like I've done, and then what you've got is you've then got different shimmer shades. So you can practice with those, and then move on to perhaps these bigger palettes. I'm loving this colour combination. Love it. So again, I always just run whatever I've got still on the brush, just under this area here, not all the way along, just the first part or first third of the eye. And what that does is you're then blending in that area there so that you haven't got a gap, and it looks, you know, more seamless, I suppose. I'm just going to put a little bit more on this one. And I think that is the base done. Now I want to go in with one of these or two of these beautiful shimmers. I think I'm going to use two. I'm definitely going to go for a nude look. I could go with that you know, that raspberry shade, but I definitely want to keep it nude. I think I'm going to go in with this shade here, which was that shimmer shade, more of a pink. You can tell I like pink, can't you? I've got the pink t-shirt on, the pink earrings on. So now I'm going to just apply that pink shade and see how we get on with that. Now, it's not over the top pink. It was, as I said, when you can see it on the arm, it's that shade there. So it's not certainly over the top pink, but what I'm trying to say is that this is more of your classic champagne. That is your champagne with a little bit of pink, and that's your champagne with a little bit of peach. So on the eye, you cannot really see that it's pink. So if you don't like pink, you're still going to love this palette. It's just the tone. I suppose it's very similar to those off-white paints that you can get with a hint of apple and a hint of peach, and you know the ones that I'm talking about. So that's the first shade on. So I'm not going to put it into the corner this time. I'm going to go for a lighter shade, and I'm going for this one here. Use one of those large pans. And then I'm just going to fill that in there, blend it into what we've already done, and just go around the inner corner. Like that. And then around the other eye as well. So do exactly the same thing, just blend it in. Now, if you do have like I have certain areas on my face, you know, I have the circles under the eye, I do have darkness here. So if you're like me, and I've always been like that, it's just my colouring, and I don't like to put too much. I like concealer obviously, but I don't want to put so much on my face that I feel caked. So I put enough on to cover everything that I want, but then what I do is, the trick is, if I do this little trick and add the inner corner highlight, as I always do, it then brightens up that area without being too caked in makeup, and it really does work. That is extremely bright in the inner corner. I love that. Of course, you've got different tones that you could try out. You certainly don't have to go with the brightness that I've got. You can go with that one. I mean, you know, you've got it all in that little palette. So what I'm going to do now is just run my brush underneath, as I always do, just to make sure that everything's blended like that. Can't get over the brightness of that shade. I'm then going to put the eyeliner on, which I love at the moment, and it is the Revolution Pro HD Smoky eyeliner. It's waterproof and it's bulletproof, and believe me, it really is. As I said in yesterday's video, I put 2 lots of this on Saturday to do my video. I'd already been out, applied it once, applied it in the video as well. Thought I'd removed everything at night, as you do. You know, you're tired, you just want to go to bed. It was still there the next day. So that's how good and great this product really is. So I'm just going to put a little bit of eyeliner on. Like I say, I'm obsessed with this at the moment. It's the only eyeliner that has ever worked for me. Right, now what I'm going to do is apply my mascara, and of course it is the Primark PS Amplif-eyed mascara. Really love this look again. I've got to go out later today, so I want a look that works for me, and I'm just loving it. Absolutely loving it. I can't get over the brightness of that inner corner. I look certainly bright in that area, which is obviously what I'm looking for. Now moving on to my lips and the multi-liner in Nudes. Now this retails for £5. You can pick it up again from revolutionbeauty.com. When I actually made my order, I couldn't find this on the sorry, let me just start again. So you can pick this up from revolutionbeauty.com. You can also pick it up from superdrug.com, but when I placed my order, because I placed two, when I placed my first order, this was not available unless I just didn't see it. But now it is available at both online sites. So I really, really love this. I love the idea of it. I love the other pen, which has got... It's called multi because it's got 3 eyeliners and it has got 1 lip liner. The eyeliner tutorial that I did on my eye and used it there as, you know, a little bit of a liner on the lid, it stayed there until I removed it. So even though these are, you know, in pen form, it looks great, but does it work? Certainly, you know, the eyeliners did. So now we're going to check out the lip liner. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to swatch them, and I've already clicked them because it does take a little while to just click the product round. You have to click it like that to get the actual product to come down. So what you do is you just press down like that to, you know, take down your particular shade that you want, and then you just twist it, and I've twisted it already so that it doesn't take too long. So now I'm going to just swatch it on my arm. So I think what I'm going to do is just, in fact that's the lightest one, so I've done that quite well. So that's the lightest lip shade. Then we've got the next shade up. So that's the next one. Obviously these are all going to be nudes for you. Then we have got this one. Oh, I like that one. That one, beautiful. That actually reminds me of one of my favourite lip liners at the moment, which I could really do with this, knowing that I can get it. The Maybelline in Gigi Hadid shade in Erin that I'm wearing a lot of at the moment. I don't think you can buy it anymore. So that actually looks very, very similar to that. It's that sort of nude brown with a little bit of burgundy to it. So there are all of your shades from this. Now I'm going to go back to that third one, which is that one there, and I'm going to line my lip with that and see how I get on. Wow, that went on really, really well. There was no dragging, no tugging, nothing like that. I also like the size of it in your hand. It's not weighty like I said the other day, but you know, it's not like a really thin pencil. It's, you know, got some I don't know, it just works very well in my hand. So I'm just going to line the rest. Love that. It's very soft, and I wouldn't say it's really, really creamy, but it's soft and it's creamy enough not to drag. And it's really worked to line my lips beautifully. Now I'm going to do my Ombre Trick because the lipstick I've got here is the one that I want to wear today, and it's a little bit lighter, absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to see if it works with this colour, which is actually near enough a spot on dupe for that Gigi Hadid Erin shade that I love. So I'm really pleased about that. Love it. Now what I would say is, because of course I absolutely love the Renaissance lip liner in Chauffeur. I was going to wear that until I realised, what am I doing? I need to use this. It's not as soft as these. Definitely not as soft and as creamy as these. But it is definitely soft and creamy enough to go on the lip, if you know what I mean. But it is very, very good. I didn't have to press. Even, you know, a lighter stroke gave me some colour payoff. I love it. So the lipstick that I'm going to wear today is the Pro Supreme lipstick in Rebellious. I absolutely love these. I love anything from the Pro range. Whoops. The Revolution Pro range. Everything I've tried is amazing. So I'm just going to pop this in the middle. And I'm just going to, this one is actually quite matte. I didn't realise it was as matte as it is, sorry, until I tried it again today. But yeah. And then all I do is I just keep working the lips together. And as I keep doing that, it will warm the product up and keep mixing that. Just takes about, especially with these matte shades, it takes a little while, but it will work very, very well. I'm just going in with, over the top with a lighter shade. Whoops. A little bit of the liner has come off, so they are quite soft. I think I'm going to leave that like that. I was going to go over with a lighter brown, but I really want to use this because this is, like I say, very much like the Gigi Hadid lip liner in Erin that I keep wearing. I love it. I'm so pleased that they've come out with a dupe because it is my favourite at the moment. So I'm going to leave that like that. Beautiful. Love it. And that will work itself in. Okay, so what you do then is just bring one of these down halfway. I'll just show you. Let me just pop one of them down like that. So we've got one like that. If you want them all up, all I do is then bring another one just halfway, and that just pops them all up because I don't want all of my lip liner, you know, out all of the time. So that is my tutorial. I would love your thoughts on the palette, on the lip liner, well, anything really that I've shared with you today. Of course, I'd love your feedback on any of that. And of course, if you have just stumbled across my channel, I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to watch further videos. I've still got this mini Choc mint palette to share with you, so I'm going to do the same with that one, and I'll probably do that tomorrow. And yeah, I can't wait. So please do subscribe to watch further videos. Like I say, I always try and get the Revolution products to you as soon as I possibly can, because I know how much it helps for you to make a decision, especially if you're not in the UK and you know, these products are not readily available in store. So until tomorrow, thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Bye.